to episode 47 of Football Manager 2015 here with Aston Villa. Join you back. It's the 2nd of October 2021 and with a live commentary at home to Chelsea as promised in the last episode. A little bit to catch up on, I suppose, since last time round. Firstly, there wasn't any more transfers on the ins, I don't think. No, Afalabi still the last one. There was one more, I think, on the outs of notability, which was Tom Cleverley finally leaving the club for 500k. Might seem quite cheap, because it is quite cheap, but he was still on 60 grand a week or something on the wages, which was way too much. His technicals were decreasing. He didn't have a place in the squad anymore, and it was time for him to go. And even though it seems cheap, when we did bring him in on a free transfer, so we did actually still make a profit on him, despite him only leaving the club for 500 grand. So since last time, there's been a fair few fixtures, and as you can see, it started off excellently, and has gone through a little bit of a slip as of late. In the last live com, there was the opening game of the season against Spurs, which ended 2-0. But just as I was finishing the episode, I finished recording it, and then the game crashed. But luckily, I had saved it just before the game, as I do at the start of every new season, and I just decided to go on, play the game, and would you believe we managed to win the game 2-0 again, and God, the game was extremely similar. Like, we had many more clear-cut chances, many more shots, but I was really glad because it just means it was realistic. I could still finish 2-0. The only difference this time, Bonazzoli was on the score sheet again, but only from the penalty spot, and Ross Barkley did score. So that's really the only change, was Barkley scoring instead of a Hugo Lloris own goal. 2-0 nonetheless. Then, in the second game of the season, we travelled to QPR Stadium, as it's now called. They moved into a new ground, and we absolutely battered them 4-0. This was a fantastic result, really. Injuries to... we had an injury just before this game to Maxi Meyer, though, which ruled him out for 3 to 4 weeks. But this was a little bit of a blessing in disguise, really, because it meant it paved the way for Lucas Mendes to have a start, and he did so with great effect. Saibi, in the 15th minute, gave us a 1-0 lead before Lucas Mendes finally scored his first professional goal for the club at the 18th time of asking or something like that in the 17th minute. Grealish made it 3 in the 36th before Barkley rounded it up in the 46th minute to win 4-0. We brought on Boye pretty late on, and he picked up a big injury for 3 to 4 weeks. Again, though, a little bit of a blessing in disguise, as it did give more chances to Mendes and the likes of him. And after that win, we were playing Oxford at home in the Cap 1 Cup second round, and I really thought this would be an extremely straightforward game. But to be fair to Oxford, for around 50 minutes, I couldn't have been further from the truth. They were fantastic on the break. We were dominant, but not overly dominant, and it meant that it was actually quite a tight game for a large period. They only just flagged really near the end. Robbie Byrne had given us the lead in the 13th minute, but Conor Ronan equalised in the 37th. Byrne then made it 2-1 in the 39th before a John Afalabi own goal in the 47th minute. An own goal on debut, not ideal. It was one of those, though, where you actually couldn't blame him, though, because like one of their strikers was about to put it in, he slid in and by accident ended putting it into his own net. But Paulinho scored the minute after with an absolute cracking strike from outside the box before it paved the way for a Lucas Mendes 11-minute hat-trick from the guy. He was playing up front this time around. He was playing at right wing for the QPR game. He scored in the 62nd, 65th and 73rd minute to make the game 6-2 before Paulinho added another absolute bullet from outside the box in the 89th minute to give us a 7-2 victory. On the face of things, it was, I think, fairly harsh on Oxford, but it did show that we were clinical, and with a pretty much a second-string team, it was an extremely impressive performance. As you could see there, though, Jack Grealish did pick up an injury, which wasn't good, because he's one of our best players, and he picked up an injury for 3 to 4 weeks, which was unideal, to say the least. We then, in the last game of August, played at home to Newcastle, and we managed to win this 3-2. A little tighter in terms of the scoreline. Actually, the stats, we dominated. Lucas Mendez and Federico Bonazzoli both scored in the first half to make it 2-0 at the break before Marcus Henriksen and Musa Sissoko looked to have snatched Newcastle a point with goals in the 53rd and 76th minute, but Hichem Saibi with a 25-yarder in the 85th minute into the top corner gave us the points, and we did justify it based on the stats. 34 shots to 7, 63% of the ball. Like, we did deserve it, but it was good that we kind of got over the line, I suppose, with that fairly late goal. We then beat Cardiff away from home 3-1, which was another impressive result. Balanta getting the first goal of the game in the 49th minute before a Bonazzoli brace, one in the 65th and one in the 82nd, before Callum McManaman penalty in the 92nd minute just denied us getting a clean sheet. Emiliano Parra just clumsily fouled, I think it was Luke Freeman, and McManaman stepped up and converted to give Cardiff a consolation goal, but it really was only a consolation goal. As you can see here, 25 shots to 11, 60% of the ball went in Villa's way. But then we encountered a little tricky face, which we haven't dealt with too great. And it started off with a disappointing 2-1 defeat at home to Manchester City. Eder Alvarez Balanta did open the scoring in the 26th minute before a fairly sloppy goal from a corner was headed in by Jonathan Silva in the 62nd minute, before a real piss take from Mauro Icardi in the 81st, which was a deflected shot of Parra, and I think it trickled into the corner, and Horn was left scrambling, but he couldn't get there, and we lost the game. As you can see, it was very tight, probably a draw would have been a much fairer result though. We then lost away to Hull in the Capital One Cup third round, so we're not going to win the Capital One Cup again, so we're still on a quest for our first trophy in this save. And these last two results have been the ones that have really actually concerned me, and I think I've found what's actually happening, because the squad has extremely low morale, and it's because of the treatment of what's his name, Cow, whatever his name is. I don't know what how to pronounce it, but he's unhappy because I said I was going to sell him, which I tried to, and nobody would take him. And then I brought him in this year, and I've actually played him. Like, I've played him 5 games out of possibly 7 or something. Like, that's not too bad. That's first team football, because Grealish has been injured, and he's still unhappy. And everybody else, look, all of these players have reacted badly. All to the treatment of him, which is a bit of a piss take, which I think means that, like, the players aren't playing as well as they can, and it's really been shown up in these last 2 games. As you can see here, absolutely creased by Hull. We were so lucky to only be 2-0. Marlon De Jesus and Jean Daniel Akbakbro scoring. As you can see, 8 clear-cut chances to 1. That pretty much sums it up. And I have to say, the away to Liverpool now, another tough fixture, this one, but it was the same story, really. 4 shots in the whole game, 47% of the ball. Like, we lost 2-0, and yet Timo Horn was man of the match. That probably shows you how much pressure we were under. Philippe Coutinho and old Villa boy Divock Origi on the score sheet. Despite this bad little run, we are still in 4th place after 6 games, 4 wins, 2 draws, scored 13, conceded 7, 12 points. As you can see here, that Chelsea have yet to drop a point. 6 wins from 6 for them. They have 18. Liverpool, 5 wins and a loss in their 6, and Swansea, 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat, leaves them on 13. Man U, Charlton, and Everton all on 12 points as well. In terms of the squad, statistically, I think Lucas Mendes is the top scorer. Yes, he is with 5. Bonazzoli's got 4. Balanta, Barkley, Byrne, Saibi, Paulinho all have 2, and Grealish has 1. Top provider, Barkley and Grealish have got 3 each. Saibi and Paulinho with 2 each. Average rating wise, Manfred Götze is up there again, 8.3, but he's only played 2 games. Subotic 7.55, again only played 2 games. Balanta 7.55, Grealish 7.53, Paulinho 7.5, Baruse 7.5, 7.5, Mendes 7.46, Soip 7.36, Par 7.3. But unfortunately, those we were banging out average ratings of 8s after 4 or 5 games, but these last 2 or 3 games, nobody has turned up. And I just fear it could be the same old story today. So we'll head into the team we're going to play today, and I suppose there's a few controversial decisions in there. Horns in nets, back four, Robertson, Palanta, Parra and Bradbury. So that's fairly bog standard. Tillmans and Barkley as midfield 2, which has been the midfield 2 all year so far. Grealish on the left, Meyer playing behind the striker, and Mendes out on the right with Bonazzoli up front. So that means Hitchem Saibi has been dropped. Robbie Byrne also on the bench. Boye, Bravo, Subotic, Alderalino and Peruzzi also on the bench. Cow doesn't even make the bench. Neither does Paulinho. The other three don't usually do anyway. So we're going to get into the game and see how we can do against Chelsea. They're most likely going to play the same formation, I'd say. Oh no, a slightly different formation. They've got Courtois and goal, back for Shaw, Zuma and Rodia. The Ruda. Ciarija, yes, he is an 18-year-old Frenchman. Malanda, Thiago, Oscar Hazard and Diego Costa. Still there and still doing well. I think he's already in the top scorers in the league already this year, which kind of sums it all up for Diego Costa. He's just an absolute animal on this year's game, especially in this save. He's just been ripping it up since day one, really. And here he is, finds Thiago, Druida, Shaw, Hazard, oh no, Costa, good block by Parra. And here's Mendes, Bonazzoli, good save. So end-to-end stuff within the first minute. They had a blocked chance, we had a good chance there with Bonazzoli. It goes down as clear cut as well. Shows you probably how good a chance it actually might have been. But it wasn't converted. Here's Grealish, finds Meyer. Lucas Mendes, oh no. What a terrible miss, and it's 2 clear-cut chances now missed. I slightly fear for Lucas Mendes that he's slightly reverting to old habits here. Meyer, go on. It's gone in! It's in, come on! Maxi Meyer gets the credit, his first of the season. I don't think really it was his goal, no. Well, he took the shot, but there is a massive deflection. I think one of their players, I think it's number 20, no. I can't see, I couldn't see within the ruck of players. I think it was number 22. I'll try and unhighlight these guys. Meyer, no. Bradbury, Barkley, Mendes, Meyer. Oh, what a save. Grealish. No, it's headed away again. We've got another corner. We've been much better in this first 20 minutes. It's been a refreshing first 20 from ourselves. Bonazzoli now. He's tackled by Sewell. So this game has been good so far, but who's to say that they're not going to strike? Lucas Mendes, Bonazzoli! I feel we're going to rue these missed chances at some stage. We're having too many of them, and we're missing too many of them. Grealish now, finds Parra, Mendes. I feel, as I was saying though, just before we scored, I think Mendes is slightly reverting to back to his old habits. You know, he's been our top scorer this year with 5, but all 5 of them came within the first 3 or 4 games of the year. He hasn't scored in 4 or 5. So I'm hoping he doesn't revert back to kind of his old habits of not being able to score, but I suppose it's too early to really give a conclusive answer. Here's Tillmans making a barge through. Bonazzoli! It's offside. Don't get too excited. I thought Bonazzoli had just kept his run onside, but obviously not. Here's Barkley though. We really are just dominating this game, but it would be just like Chelsea to sneak a goal. Here's Grealish, Bonazzoli, Tillmans, hits the post. Yuri Tillmans hits the post. Here he is again, Tillmans, Grealish, hits the post. Oh my god. How are we only still 1-0 up? Courtois now, Kurt Zuma, kept them under good pressure. Hazard. Oh no, Costa in behind. Oscar, what a save. Timo Werner. Chelsea spurring their first clear-cut chance of today as Tillman's there. God, that was nearly heading into the top corner for a... Oh, fuck off, Oscar. That is harsh. It really is harsh, but I suppose if you're not going to take your chances, like we haven't done so, especially against a team like Chelsea, you're not going to get away with it. You might get away with it against a poorer team, but not against Chelsea. I'm still happy enough though with our first half performance. It's really been top drawer up until those last probably 5 minutes of the half, where we conceded a few clear-cut chances and have obviously conceded the goal. We might look into a change reasonably soon, and we will now. We'll bring off Bonazzoli and bring on Lucas Boyer, who hasn't actually had many games this year due to that injury he picked up quite early on in the piece against QPR. So I don't know, he might be a little bit out of sorts, so maybe that's a risky person to bring on, but I think you can't keep Bonazzoli on, considering the amount of chances he's missed. And Maxi Meyer's now injured, and that's a really unideal situation, because he's been playing one of his best games for a long time, an 8.5 rating for him. Saiby's going to have to come in. Now, that's actually fine, because I was thinking of bringing Saiby on anyway, but I was thinking of bringing him on for Lucas Mendez rather than Maxi Meyer. But due to that injury, he's forced my hand to bring him off and bring on Saiby. Hopefully Saiby can do something. After the last game, I really gave him a buck up. Boye! Mendez! Get in! Goal drought my arse! He's just walked over to me and went, piss off, Blair White. You've got it wrong. Boye, what? Missed a golden opportunity. Courtois with a fantastic save, but it does come back straight out to Lucas Mendez. To be fair, he couldn't really miss, but he didn't, which is the key thing. Tillman's is absolutely knackered, so we're going to bring on Robbie Byrne for him and switch him around with Saiby. We're approaching the end of this game now. Can we hold out? Para, Barkley, Boye, Byrne. Barkley! Penalty! Yeah, get in! Nicholas Sewell. Send them off, ref. That's a clear straight red. Yeah, take that. It has gone from bad to worse for Chelsea. I'm not sure whether Mourinho's still in charge. Couldn't be sure about that, but is this Lucas Boye stepping up? I think it will be, to try and net his first of the season. It's Boye. It's 3-1. Game, set, match. Aston Villa and Chelsea will lose for the first time this year travelling to Villa Park. And this is an immensely satisfying result, considering, as you guys saw, the little tiny rut we'd gone through. This is a massive result for the club, and one that should hopefully spring back the morale levels. I think playing Cow has really dismantled the team on that left-hand side, because he's brought the whole team down because of his negative attitude. Instead, this time round, we did have Jack Grealish. Take Jack Grealish any day of the week, because he's just a superb player. We don't actually have a pre-game press or post-game press conference. I'm going to go passionately as a terrific performance to Chris Johnson from BBC Radio 5 Live. So that's an excellent result. That really is. Meyer wins the man of the match as well with an 8.5 rating, which is great to see. Next episode will be Everton away from home. So we've got a fair few fixtures in between then and now. We've got Forest away, Stoke at home, Southampton at home, Hull away, Wigan at home, Bournemouth away, and Man U at home before travelling to Everton. Because of the exit in the Capital One Cup and also no European competitions, it's only going to be Premier League football in that time as well, which I think will be quite good actually, because just lets us focus on the league and really hopefully keep up in where we are, so we can possibly finish in the Champions League spots this year, or at least Europa League. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I'll see you guys later.